losing, hopefully.
No, I'm like really bright on the screen. You should be getting that alert any second now.
Okay. I am also refreshing the live dashboard. Oh, it's starting. Hey, we're live, I think, right?
We are live.
Wow, look, I knew this time. That's awesome. Welcome to the world of tomorrow. Welcome, everyone, to the Awesemo.com Live Before Lock show. As always, I am Chris Spags, joined by the handsome, hatted gentleman named Josh Engelman over there.
Hi. Hi.
And we are here tonight talking MLB, talking NBA, and we actually have a big promotion going on today for NBA for the dudes at playline.com. And I'm actually going to drop, because now I have the live dashboard that Josh also has. So we are fully equitable. We are in a full-on partnership, live stream marriage, where I can drop links in the chat. Sign up here. I'm going to put it in caps.
I never even thought about it, but I could have added you to the ability to do all that stuff.
You know, I could have asked too, and I didn't. So there are a lot of issues there.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I still can't put a link in the chat. That's so bullshit. Why does it let you put a link in the chat if it's your chat?
Are you logged into it?
Yeah, I'm on the Josh at Awesemo thing.
Interesting.
Weird. Yeah, I'm putting in the playline.com. Anyway, we're doing a contest with Playline. If you go to playline.com/r/Awesemo, AWESEMO, you can join our contest tonight. We're doing a big promotion with them where we are giving away a Chris Paul signed jersey as well as money. You could actually win $1 million if you're able to guess the stat lines of LeBron, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook tonight, their points, rebounds, and assists. You would be able to get $1 million if you're able to get those correctly. And Josh has done some projections on it. Josh knows the Playline game as well as anyone, I imagine. Yeah, Josh is going to tell you now what to look for, because there are some things that can help you win. And, you know, also it's a new DFS site, so that's always a great opportunity to build your bankroll. A lot of overlay on other tournaments, hopefully not on ours. We're trying to fill it up tonight. So go join playline.com/r/Awesemo. And Josh will tell you now what you should look at to try to make a lineup.
Yeah, a lot of it is a baseline similar to what I wrote about in the Playline article on the website today. So if you didn't check that out, the basis is this. You want to start, you can start pretty easily with seasonal averages if you need to. So for LeBron, it was, you know, somewhere in the 27, 8, and 8 range, or whatever his particular range is. It's not important for right now. You then want to find out standard deviations of those stats. So what sort of range could you expect points to land in? What sort of range can you expect assists to land in, rebounds to land in? So I have those ranges on the article at awesemo.com right now. I'll pull that up as well.
We're making this as foolproof as possible to try to help you guys win some money.
Exactly.
Because it's a new partnership with Playline. It's a new site. Obviously, the DFS space's growth helps us all, helps us with this live stream, helps you hopefully win some money so you can quit your jobs and all. We can all just watch sports all day and jerk each other off, metaphorically or literally.
And if you sign up, you get a free $5 bonus.
That's right.
With your first deposit. Like, this could essentially be just like a free roll for you and a chance to win a Chris Paul jersey. So,
actually, you get a free $5. You get, I think, like a bonus $25 with your
yes, you are absolutely correct.
Yeah, look at us knowing plugs and such. What pros.
So I went through, calculated out LeBron's averages, standard deviations, and comes up with a range. So it's 16 to 39 points, 4 to 14 rebounds, 4 to 14 assists. Even that felt a little low for me, but you're generally trying to stay within like a standard deviation and a half, give or take. And then you need to start thinking about how that game is going to go and be played. Today, for example, the implied total is just slightly below Cleveland's normal averages. That's kind of crazy for the playoffs when it normally slows down. So it makes me feel like there's a chance this game plays at a bit of a pace-up scenario. When you're taking things like points, rebounds, and assists, they're all positively correlated. So if the pace of this game's going up, you would expect all of those stats to go up. So you want to be in those ranges, and you want to have some sort of realistic-like line. So I mentioned something along the lines of 33, 11, and 11. It seems like a monster line on the surface, and it is. I mean, it's a pretty huge triple-double. But the goal then is to be as close to those lines as possible. If you hit it on the dot, you get bonuses for the points, the rebounds, and the assists. And as you are further away from that, the bonus goes down a little bit more. So you want to be close to season averages. You want to take into account, slight changes to defensive matchups. You want to get into whether or not you think this game is going to be played faster or slower, whether or not the team should be expecting to score more or less. That's what you're looking to do. And if you do that, you can create a unique point, rebound, and assist projection for the three guys that are on the slate today. So LeBron, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. If you're lucky enough to be close, you'll be putting yourself at the top of the tournament and have the potential to take home an autographed Chris Paul jersey.
Yes, I mean, it's a cool thing to try. I mean, look, it's a different approach to DFS. And also a way to show off your knowledge and, your ability to put these numbers together. It does feel a little bit like guessing out of a jelly bean jar, but, the reality is that it's a good way to pick up some money right now, build your bankroll. So we are partnering with them. Go to playline.com/r/awesemo and get in there, and we will hopefully help you win Chris Paul jerseys and money, and you can guess statistics. What a treat. What a treat for us all. We are going to talk the other stuff too. John Cole, you can be a silly boy and complain, but in reality, we're doing a little bit of everything here. We're talking Playline. Now we're going to talk MLB, MLB and NBA tonight, but MLB first. Josh, who are the guys that are coming up first? Once again, there's going to be a couple of obvious pitchers, a couple of obvious stacks. Who are the guys that you're going to?
Yeah, I'll switch to pitchers for now on DK, and then we can go over everything. Not much has changed for me since this morning, so if you watch the baseball video, this is going to be similar content. Robbie Ray is without question my favorite pitcher on the slate. Combination of value and upside. He's a guy that I'm going to have in just an overwhelming amount of lineups. Garrett Cole is my number 2, particularly on FanDuel. Big time chance to pick up a win. I think he looks great on DK as well. If you want to go to a stack of Cole, or not a stack, if you want to go to Cole and Ray on DraftKings, I think that's something you could actually do. So I would do that. Those would be my 2 favorite guys. From there, if you're looking at guys on DK, if you're looking for that sort of second starter type guy, Vince Velasquez and Steven Matz are the 2 guys that are popping up the most for me. I'd be fine with a little bit of Tanner Roark, fine with a little bit of Skaggs.
No Kenta?
Kenta's kind of weird because I don't have a problem with him. He looks fine on FanDuel as well. I personally just have Robbie Ray as such a great play and only $300 more than Kenta Maeda that it's hard for me to get to Maeda. I'd be fine with like Ray and Kenta Maeda. I think that would be a reasonable play that would be pretty unique. But I just like Ray that much more that like it kind of naturally pinches out Kenta.
I mean, I like Kenta because, his odds have also gotten better as the day's gone on, while the total's gotten lower. So that means the sharp money's probably coming in on Kenta on a lower total. They're in San Diego. You can tell I prepared my pitchers better today, and I have the right guys' names. It also probably helps there aren't 2 Kenta Maedas. So that's a big asset for me when preparing.
What, are you going to try rostering Kenta Kobashi tonight or something?
Yeah, Japanese pro wrestlers, I think, in general, often translate best to DFS. Lots of great points per minute.
Yeah.
But, he has, like, the lowest total on the board, I think, and he throws strikes. And he's had a couple big games this year already, or at least one big game that I recall offhand. So I don't... I didn't mind that one, but I see why.
I'm perfectly fine with him. He just happens to be like a notch behind. And that's really the only thing. Like if Robbie Ray wasn't on the slate, I'd probably have a pretty decent chunk of him, but he is.
And I'm sure a lot of people too are thinking to go Ray too. Ray's been a very popular pitcher almost every time he goes out because his K per 9 is so strong. So I mean, Kenta could be a good pivot, as could you said Matz. I think you said Matz would work. Or Matz and Velasquez?
All three.
Matt's work, yeah. So Matt's work and Velasquez, those guys all seem like good pivots. Matt's odds have gotten better throughout the day as well. Velasquez has actually have gotten a little worse, but marginally, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, all those guys seem fine to me too. But I like Kenta. You know, I live in LA. I feel like I have to support the Dodgers. They're the most like bandwagon team here by far.
I have a little bit of him right now.
You're gonna regret it.
I think. Actually, more than a little. I have 11% actually.
Okay. You'll rue the day you didn't get 50%, Kenta. You'll rue it.
I might rue it.
You're gonna rue it pretty hard. Stacks. Where are we stacking? Where's the sweet stacks at?
So my favorite stack is the Diamondbacks, and I think that grades out pretty well with our rankings. I'm gonna pull those up now since I have them here. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna talk about them though. They grade out really well for me. I have them up here. Basically, everyone looks good. I will say that Ketel Marte does not grade out as well in our rankings as he does for me personally, which does give me a bit of pause. But the rest of the guys look like a lot of A value type guys. So I still have an overwhelming amount of Diamondbacks, and I'm fine with that. After that, it was going to be the Phillies. Carlos Santana now not in the lineup, so he is not as popular for me. The Dodgers are probably my second favorite stack, followed by the Astros. But those guys, they're probably more like 2A and 2B. I'd be fine.
The Dodgers even know they're at... Sorry, Dodgers even know they're at Petco?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious, you know, I'm just asking the questions here.
Yeah, 4.2 run implied total is not too far off of the top two teams. Braves and D-backs both at 4.5, so they're still in that sort of area. I'm fine with it. Like, Perdomo doesn't miss enough bats to really make me scared, so there should be a lot of contact for the Dodgers. I like their pricing as well.
Okay, I like your justification. I can live with it. You know, hey, look, a Kenta and Dodgers stack. I'm on board with it. All go get go.
There you go.
Anything else MLB you want to touch on? I think we'll do like this guy or that guy stuff a little later in the show. We want to make sure to hit NBA too, besides the playline stuff, because it is playoff season and we do have 3 games and 3 big games too, with a lot of guys who need to do stuff. And a lot of chat talk about LeBron already. LeBron seems like the guy who's the key to it all. If he goes nuts today, he's going to break the slate, and it's tough to get to him because of how tight the pricing is. Where would you be going tonight? There's the 3 studs with stud in each game. Which one is your favorite? Which one's your least favorite?
Oh, you hit me at the worst time. I thought you were going to keep talking for a little bit longer.
And also, there are so many great players.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6.
Basketball is a great sport full of tall men.
Let me just update Corey Spangenberger here, and there we go. Okay, yeah, I can hop to NBA now.
What Nick Davis is saying in the chat, yes, it's the same thing that we said yesterday. And again, you know, guys who are watching the chat every day, we appreciate you first and foremost if you're watching this chat every day.
But secondarily,
you are deeply appreciated. But also, we're going to talk about a lot the same kind of concepts, the same kind of stuff, because it's important to drill it in for people who are coming into the chat. Maybe you haven't paid attention every day like some of you guys have. And I think that Nick Davis's point in the chat is pretty accurate. Same rule from yesterday's battle today. Balance your NBA lineup. Don't expect significant leaps in players with low minutes. Under 20 minutes is his rule of thumb, similar for me. That isn't always the case. There are a couple guys, like Mike Scott was a guy who I wouldn't have projected for over 20 minutes, and he had a great night last night. I still believe in the logic, though. Like, I think you're going to pan for gold for Mike Scott, and you're going to come up empty more often than not. People are probably going to go to J.R. Smith tonight. People are going to go to – I actually have a little bit of Jamal Crawford, but – in reality, it's not a great margin to have there. He might do well, but the odds are more likely Jimmy Butler goes off than you have the Crawford or Derrick Rose again, I would say.
So, circling back a little bit, Osimo slam dunks, Gobert on DK, Nance on FanDuel, Favors on both sites. That all sounds pretty good to me. I do like Favors tonight. The price looks pretty tasty. I think he's going to get a couple extra minutes as well. If we're talking about guys that I'm interested in, let's find out.
Roosevelt Hooker says, I like Capella jizz. I think that's the importance of a comma. You should be saying, I like Capella, comma, jizz. So to differentiate that you were talking to Jizz Dragon and not referring to the jizz of the handsome man known as Clint Capella.
Oh boy, could you imagine being on the other end of that one?
I often imagine getting hollowed out by 7 foot tall centers.
God.
I think he's Swiss, right? So that's even more fun.
I have no idea. Is he?
I believe so.
Probably comes out like Swiss Miss.
Just chunky and chocolatey, just the way you like it.
He is from Switzerland.
Yeah, there you go. I know my guys. I don't know my Taylor Williamses and Tyler Williamses and all that, but I know my Clint Capella locations.
I don't know people's countries. That much I can tell you.
I think it's because it's like, oh, there's this giant black man. He's from Switzerland? Okay. And for some reason that's just stuck in my head.
That's fair. So it looks like I would have liked a ton of Mello today. This is FanDuel, by the way. I'll hop to DK in a second.
Melo's at a pretty good price on DK, too. I already have a fair amount of Melo. I see it. He played, I think, 37 minutes last game. And if he's going to play 37 minutes, you know Melo's going to shoot. He's not on the floor to stand there.
Right. I think Carmelo looks good. Donovan Mitchell's coming up here because I didn't bump him a little bit just because of his injury concerns now. I'd like to say that I like Miles Turner, but man, does that guy become a ghost sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And they might tweak the lineups too. You don't know how they're going to try to. They might switch Tristan Thompson, and maybe they might. Who knows what they do? But it could affect him the most, I think. Like Oladipo, I like. Bogdanovich, I love. I think he looks great tonight.
If you're not playing LeBron, I would love to play Jimmy Butler.
Interesting. Butler's had a tough time with Houston this year.
Yeah, that is a very true statement. I think that if I don't have LeBron, I have to play Jimmy Butler.
His knee also worries me a little bit. Like, I don't know. Like, he was wrapped up, and then Thibodeau kind of joked about it, and Butler kind of joked about it, but it seems like he might be a little... They might be running him into the ground a bit with that one game to get into the playoffs versus Denver. He played 44 minutes, played a little less last time out, and just wasn't as effective.
I would happily run this first lineup out in a GPP. Collison, Hill, Mitchell, Wiggins, LBJ, Butler, Favors, Nance, Turner.
Interesting. Hill. You like Hill?
No. But...
Well, your projection's like Hill there.
Well, it's just one of those lineups where that's the spot you spend $4,000 on if you want to make sure you get LeBron and Jimmy Butler.
Okay, I could see that. I mean, Hill is a little banged up too. I really don't like much of the Cavs besides LeBron and Love. Love, I think, is a good opportunity. He got 17 boards last game, didn't shoot it well. Lou has made a point that he wants to post him up more tonight. So you have to assume he's going to get more looks on offense, better looks, hopefully. And, boy, if he grabs 17 boards and puts up 20 points, Kevin Love is probably one of the better plays of the night.
I would completely agree.
I mean, call me crazy. If a guy puts up 20 boards and 20 points, he's going big.
It's probably going to go well for him. Let's dump this into DK. We'll see if it looks a little different.
So while Josh pulls that up, I'll go through this stuff. Crowder and Crawford and Peter Donato's lineups. I like Crowder too. I like Crawford. I would not have them in all my lineups, though I do have a lot of Crowder. I think Crowder is... We actually have him a little underrated, I think, on the site too. Of course, let's circle back if I'm completely wrong and he sucks balls, and then it's like, oh yeah, of course, there's a D and a D on the website. But I think that Crowder got a lot of minutes last time out, put up 10 shots, only shot 30%. It's not a great total. So, and obviously, if it's not a great total, it's not likely that Jay Crowder is going to be the big scorer of the day. But I do think that he's got a good potential there, and they need him to play defense because Joe Ingles cannot handle Paul George at all, not even a little bit.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler coming up roses for me on DK.
Really?
If I start with Gobert, Favors, and Butler, I can get to some things that are pretty tasty.
Yeah, the Gobert, Favors, Rubio trio was very popular on Awesemo's rankings today, which you can get if you go to awesemo.com, sign up for premium. We actually added an option per the people's request. You can now buy a year-long option, which is a discount. You then are only paying $40 a month, I think, or maybe a little less, for all the sports. And it's a better deal. You're paying $50 if you go month by month.
More.
Now you're paying less than $40 if you go for a year. So we're trying. We're trying to make this work and hear you guys. Let's see.
Yeah, you can get to some nice DK stuff. Rubio, Eric Gordon, Wiggins, Favors, Gobert, CP3, Butler, Adams. Like, that could be a fun line. What else do we have with Adams?
I have a hard time with going with Gobert and Adams. I wouldn't go that way. Because I think Adams to have a good game basically means that Gobert doesn't. I think for Gobert to have a good game, it means he's keeping Adams off the boards and taking a lot of that.
See, in a way, I agree, but I don't know. Like, normally, I would not like playing both centers. But the Jazz have actually been a little leaky to opposing centers. I've talked about that on my show every once in a while. I think that Gobert is such a good team defender that it doesn't necessarily translate to just the one-on-one defense. So I think Adams is fine in that scenario because Gobert is more bringing down everyone else, not just one particular position. He's bailing everyone else out of stuff. So it might allow, like, he might be stepping up and leaving Adams, and he's so good at that that's not like, it benefits Adams a little bit more, but it negatively impacts the other team as a whole.
That makes sense.
I have no idea if that's true or not, but they're like, for sure, the Jazz have given up some bigger games to centers.
So I've seen similar things too. The issue that I have with that is because of the way that Adams plays and he's closer to the rim. Gobert isn't really roaming off him too much, so he's going to be next to the rim too. Like, I try to think about this more about spacing in terms of how guys are going to get more opportunities. And I think, like, you're right about like a Towns or somebody like that who can stretch him out a little bit, can hit some shots, can then kind of crash the boards and run in. You know, Adams isn't really doing that, and if he is doing it, he's getting the ball in the post, and I think Gobert can just gobble him up if they happen to give him more. You know, I think Adams makes sense of the price on DraftKings. I think he's a similar price on FanDuel too. So I get the logic. I would have a hard time playing both because I think if Adams plays well, that means Gobert is ineffective at the stuff that he should be. But I mean, look, there's credible arguments I think for both sides.
Yeah, and I'm with you in the sense that there's enough centers out there today that it's not sort of like the only way to do it. It's compared to like 2 nights ago when it was only like JaVale McGee and whatever. Like, here, there's so many centers out there that you don't necessarily have to double up on that game.
Yeah, I mean, and there are a couple plays too, like Capella we've talked about a little bit earlier. Besides his tremendous amounts of semen that he creates, he's simply a beast when he plays a lot of minutes. And he played 34 minutes last time out. They obviously need him on the floor to keep Towns off the boards, to keep Towns. I mean, Towns are going to want to feed the ball to, which means that Capella's going to have more chance to get some blocks, more chance to get some boards. I think that Capella's a really good play tonight. I'd rather find a way to pay up for him than, you know, try to save too much money and go the Adams way. But that's me.
Capella looks good tonight.
Let's see. Is Love an interesting GPP play to go to tonight? Yeah, we said a little bit ago that I think Kevin Love could have a great game. He was really rebounding at a crazy clip last time out. He just has to hit his shots, and I think they're determined to try to get him more opportunities tonight, more good looks, more looks in the post especially. And I think that's why that Love's a great play. Towns going to get smacked around. I think Towns is going to have a better game tonight. I think Towns is also going to be overowned tonight, given his potential. But that's, these are all opinions. I saw Grace asked about Derrick Rose, and actually a couple people have asked about Derrick Rose. I think Derrick Rose probably gets a little less minutes. Part of the reason he got so much last time was because Jeff Teague got 3 fouls early and had to come out for a little bit in the first quarter. So Rose will probably get a little less minutes this time out. He still should get around 20-21. Given how much he shot the ball with Teague off the floor, he has potential to get to value at his price, but it's a thin margin, and you're trying to get a guy who's been the gimpiest player in the league and sometimes most ineffective player in the league to be really effective in 20 minutes, and that's a little risky.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch Rose at all.
I would, if you're doing, I'm putting 15 lineups tonight, and I had, I think, 1 or 2 Derrick Roses. I just felt like he made a couple lineups that I wanted to get in there fit, and he obviously has shown the upside. I don't find it hard to believe he's going to do the exact same thing again or even come close. But we try. All you can do is try in life.
That's very true. You should try more, Derrick Rose.
Is Braun, Love, J.R. Korver stack too cute? I would say so. Korver, coming off an illness, he only played 4 minutes last time out. I JR I think is okay. I don't love JR. I never loved JR though. Corver, I just don't think is going to get the run. I think there are a couple too many guys. It depends on how they're tweaking the lineups, though. And Ty Lue seems to claim that he has a group of death lineup he hasn't rolled out yet. Because why would you try that in Game 1 of the playoffs? Save it for Game 2 when you got blown out and embarrassed and LeBron wants to leave.
Yeah, that's probably too many Cavs for me.
Yeah, I think so, too. I love LeBron. I like Love. I see why people would like JR. But, I'd rather just stick to the two guys there. Let's see. LMAO. Really just said don't touch D Rose. Okay. Russell Westbrook, Oladipo, and Clint Capella. Who needs either James? I think, but the difference between that though is LeBron is playing and can play at a level that Westbrook is going to find a hard time to hit versus Utah if Utah is playing at a down pace. I do like Oladipo. I do like Clint. But I think there's a very viable reason why LeBron is going to be a good play tonight, and that's because he either needs to do this tonight or he's going to do one of those LeBron games where he just phones it in and we're going to be like, all the stories tomorrow on ESPN are going to be about how he's going to leave and he's blaming his teammates and being an idiot like he does sometimes. No baseball questions, so I guess we'll keep talking basketball. Fake Dark Blue says Jamal Crawford is a must-play tonight. Fake Dark Blue said a lot of things last night, which came true, mostly because he said every player was going to go off. So that's tough.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have any Jamal Crawford.
Jamal Crawford is an okay play. Definitely not a must play. Definitely. Actually, even okay might be a stretch. Jamal Crawford is a play.
I don't even know if that's true.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he had a really high usage rate, and that's what what we've been trained to look at the most is if guys getting a lot of usage. Him, like Lance Stevenson, guys who just really shot a lot of shots in a fast amount of time in their games, and that paid off for Mike Scott yesterday. And Dwayne Wade. So I think that there are a couple cases to be made where if you want to look at a guy who's getting a less great run, at least get a guy who's getting crazy high usage in that run. And I think Crawford fits that criteria. Lance does too. Rose does too if he keeps anything close to that. Let's see. I don't know what there's a lot of people I'm unclear about what they're saying, but that's fine. Lorenza Robinson asks, so a female, I think, top MLB stack of the night. Which is the one that you would go to if your family were being held hostage and the guy from Taken was like, oh man, I need a great stack, Josh Engelman. What do you have for me?
The answer is supposed to be the Diamondbacks, but if I've got to bet my family on it, I'm a little bit more scared.
And you heard that accent. That was a pretty intimidating accent.
Yeah. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't the Diamondbacks. I'm going to have more Diamondbacks in my lineups than I will have anyone else. But
is Goldschmidt your top guy of the day overall?
No.
Who's your top guy?
If we're talking FanDuel...
Oh, sorry, Lorenzo. You sounded like a sexy lady, Lorenzo.
Let me sort it out just so I'm not talking out of my butthole.
It's actually so 2 Goldschmidt questions. What's your stance on your best player of the day? And also on DK, would you go Freeman or Goldschmidt?
I would go Goldschmidt because I would have more Diamondbacks in my lineup.
Right, because you are stacking errors.
I'm fine with either one of those guys so long as they're coming along with the rest of the team. Yeah. So on FanDuel, my best play of the day is probably Ryan Zimmerman because he's priced preposterously. It was Carlos Santana for me. He is now out. So if I need someone that I'm super duper confident in, I don't want it to sound like Goldschmidt's not close to that because he very much is. It honestly might be Ryan Zimmerman for me. The $2,500 price point on FanDuel is ridiculous.
That is pretty cheap for a guy who has the upside that he has.
I'm going to have so many Diamondback stacks that I don't feel comfortable picking one guy out of all of that. So outside of a Diamondback stack, I like Ryan Zimmerman on FanDuel more than just about anything that's out there. If I need to give one for DK, give me... Shit, maybe Trout.
He's a good player. I'll go on record and say that Mike Trout's a good player.
Trey Turner, I like a lot on DK. Lindor, I like a lot on DK. Ozzy Albies, I like a lot on DK. It's hard to ever just pick just one person.
Okay. What is Cleveland and Minnesota is in Puerto Rico tonight, like last night? Is that,
Yes.
is that baseball?
The Indians and Twins are playing in Puerto Rico. Jake and I did not know that yesterday morning. And
okay. There you go.
The weather site that we were using was giving Minnesota weather, so it didn't catch our eye. They updated it later. But that's where Jake was like, yeah, I would have noticed if it said that it was going to be 84 degrees in Minnesota yesterday.
Minnesota's known for their unseasonable warmth in April. That's one of their staples. Let's see. Anything good in the chat? Nothing.
Probably. Our chat's the best.
That's true. There's a lot of great people saying nothing great. Bill Butlicker's having rainbow trout for dinner, and I think that sounds delightful. Guys, they're like fighting in the chat. Be nice to each other. Love each other. This is a community here. It shouldn't be button heads. Chris Paul and Wiggins, would they be preferred plays for you on FanDuel? I know we're just changing sports like madmen, but Paul and Wiggins, would they be preferred plays on FanDuel for you?
I like them both. They both show up a lot actually. When I ran that crunch on FanDuel, Wiggins in particular. So I would end up on a lot of Wiggins if I were playing NBA tonight.
Okay, I always have a hard time with Wiggins when Butler's playing and the way that Teague has been taking the ball. Towns needs to get more. I think that's sort of a concern for me with Wiggins. But Wiggins did get put up a lot of shots last time, as much as he was without Butler. So just a lot of guys, who are in the main rotation, just getting more shots than they're used to, and that includes Wiggins. So sometimes it means you got to adjust the stuff that's in your head, including me. I still won't play Wiggins, but I should adjust it in my head. Let's see. Scott's my son. Don't get it twisted. Okay, guys. Look, all I see is people getting angry in the chat. And I'm like, hey, why are we fighting in the chat? That's all I see. I just want to heal everyone at once while making lineups and plugging playline. Speaking of, playline.com/r/awesemo, AWESEMO. You can get in now, and you get a free $5 for signing up. Join our contest. There's a contest there. You can pick the lines for James Harden, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, the three biggest players, the three most important players of the night. And you're going to pick them. And if you win, you could win. If you got them 100% right, if you got them perfectly, you could win $1 million. If you win the tournament, you could win a couple $100 and a signed Chris Paul jersey. So, the $1 million would be pretty cool. Chris Paul jersey. If you like Chris Paul, that's pretty cool, I think. Or if you don't like Chris Paul and you want to pee on it, you can do that. It's a little mean, but you could do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Chris Paul would understand.
If I hit that $1 million perfect line, though, I'm going to retire tomorrow from some of this.
I think I would keep doing it. I would just dedicate myself to playline full time. I'd be like, fuck, I've been trying to play DFS for years, and I won $1 million on one try in playline. I would think I'm magic, is what I would think.
I'd be chatting with Michael Bisping tomorrow. Like, what's up, brother?
Hey, dude, where's that check? He just punches you in the face. You wanted $1 million, huh? No. Here, how about this?
Yeah.
How about a nice Hawaiian punch? Let's see.
I'd fight Michael Bisping for $1 million. He's just going to knock me out immediately. I'm never even going to notice. That's
a good point. There's actually nothing wrong with getting punched in the face for $1 million. I think there are a lot of people I'd take a punch in the face from. Even if you fucked up your jaw. I mean, that heals.
I'm going out immediately if Bisping hits me. Boop, done. I mean, I'd prefer to just pull guard and just let him choke me unconscious. That seems like it won't even hurt, but yeah.
He is more of a guy who would get in the mount, though, and just pound you into mush.
Yeah,
so that's not.
If I laid down on my stomach hoping that he would just choke me out, I feel like he would just drop a knee into my ribs.
So your strategy would be to submit to him like an animal and allow him to hump you or do whatever he pleases.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
if you're laying on your belly, that's submitting. Or just roll over and pee yourself. That's what dogs do.
Dapiana 23. Yes, at the 50-yard line of the Super Bowl.
Let's see. What do we? Hold on. There was a good question about Larry Nance that I just lost. Well, whatever. Somebody asked about Larry Nance. I'm actually curious about Larry Nance. Larry Nance got a lot of minutes last time out. He didn't perform that well, but he's had big games this year. And the Pacers have been pretty weak at times. I guess the one concern I had was Kevin Love grabbing all the rebounds. I didn't really understand that from a stat standpoint. I tried to watch a little bit of the game, like the highlights of it. Didn't really show me enough to understand why Nance wasn't getting the boards. I think he was more focused on boxing out than grabbing boards, which he does do sometimes. But that's a lot of minutes where if a couple of ricochets goes away, he gets a couple steals and breakaway dunks. Nance could be a pretty interesting play.
Larry Nance is a slam dunk for us tonight on FanDuel.
That's right. Yeah, I was only thinking about DraftKings. But yeah, I mean, he is a slam dunk because those minutes are fantastic. People, a lot of Cavs lineup talk.
Yeah, if Larry Nance's minutes is because Jeff Green struggled, you might be confident in seeing more Larry Nance minutes because, spoiler alert, Jeff Green struggles a lot.
It's funny to hear like Bill Simmons talk about him on his podcast where he's just like, yeah, like all these teams have had him and they always have moments where you believe in Jeff Green. You're like, did Jeff Green figure it out? And he just dashes your hopes in the most hurtful way possible.
It's like, no, he didn't figure it out at all, actually. Still just dog shit more often than not. He's been nice, like, you know, fully functional role player, I guess. As long as people don't think that they're getting, I don't know, anything good out of it.
Yeah, that's fair. I like Jeff Green sometimes, but I like him when he's like a guy who's getting a ton of shots. And I feel like I like every player when they're getting a ton of shots because they're professional basketball players and they all look good when they get a ton of shots.
I like Jeff Green in college.
Yeah, I agree. I liked him even when he came into the league and he was part of that initial like Westbrook Durant. I think right, it was Westbrook and Durant and Green were the threesome. And
yeah, there was
like a year where they had it before they were like, this Jeff Green thing ain't working.
Yeah, then the Ray Allen trade happened. So what happened to get him there to get Ray Allen to Boston? So he went from Boston
it was like
to Thunder, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. How many points?
He's been on like 27 teams, so you know, tracking that shit in my head is difficult.
You know, like would have been a better version of him for the Cavs? Michael Beasley.
No.
I think so, because they need guys who can get a bucket, and he is the walking bucket. That is his nickname that he's at least given himself. And
their defense is bad enough.
But at this point, though, they just need to score as much as possible because that defense isn't getting fixed. And I'd rather have him on the floor than Jeff Green kind of sucking it up and being mediocre.
I don't know, man. I struggle.
What do you guys think LeBron's ownership will be? We do have that on awesemo.com. I will pull it up and give you a very vague answer because you have to sign up for it. Now I'll just give you an answer. We have him projected for about 26% ownership right now. So that would put him in the top 10 of ownership, but a little lower than you would think. A couple of guys we're expecting to be a little higher owned. If you want to go and sign up for premium on awesemo.com, you will see that we have all the ownership things up and a couple of surprises in there that seem to be based solely upon price. But I think that, yeah. I think our tools are really helpful. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Yasmani Grandal is hitting third for the Dodgers tonight. I liked him when he was hitting fifth. I like him significantly more now that he's hitting third. FYI, people. Okay.
There you go. So if you're making Dodgers lineups, there's a good move for that. Stack them with Kenta Maeda. We've established that already. Beto says people always say the Cavs need scorers, and they made this trade, and everyone celebrated that they got scorers, and it still hasn't happened. You're right, Beto. I think the issue is actually Ty Lue, if we're being honest. The fact that they haven't played Jordan Clarkson more continues to be one of the most baffling things to me. I get they have George Hill. I get LeBron seems to like playing with George Hill a little more. But like we've seen what Clarkson can do on the Lakers. We saw what he did when he first got traded, and he was on that game versus the Celtics where he just went off. For some reason, he just doesn't get any run. I don't know. I think Michael Beasley would be a fix. That's all. Just keep getting scorers out there. Eventually, Ty Lue has to play one.
Look, I'm the biggest Beasley fan on the planet. He is not the answer in the playoffs.
You know what? I thought he was really great this year in a way that was unique and fun. And he had moments where he backslid a little, but I think, you pair him with LeBron, you give him that spacing, you have Kevin Love out there. Like, that's sort of where he would be his most effective. He's got to learn to, like, swing the ball, and, like, if the ball comes to him, it's probably dying with him. But
Dude was playing in China like 18 months ago. I'm good.
Look, and he really revitalized his career in a unique way. I think next year we'll be talking about Michael Beasley and we'll be like, wow, remember when we were all downing Michael Beasley? And Josh Engelman was like, oh, he was in China. And then Michael Beasley's going to come on this show because he won a GPP. And he's gonna be real mad at you.
He might not play more than 10 minutes a game next year if Porzingis comes back healthy.
I don't think he's even signed to the Knicks next year. I thought he was a free agent.
I thought they had him on a non-guarantee next year.
Maybe. You might be right. I honestly have no idea.
I don't have a damn clue. I'm just making that shit up.
I love that somehow I made this about Michael Beasley for like 10 minutes.
No, he's unrestricted next year. So he'll be on, I don't know, the Suns or somebody shitty.
He'd be a good pacer too. I like him just anywhere that needs a little instant offense.
I'm fine with that one more. Okay.
All right. We found a compromise. Let's get Michael Beasley on the Pacers. Michael Beasley, if you're watching this, congratulations on winning that GPP. Can't wait to have you on the show. Look forward to seeing you in Indiana next year. Is it a bad idea to have Bogdan and Oladipo on the same lineup at DK? No, it is not, because I have that personally and a few.
Yeah, no, not a bad idea at all.
I think they look stellar. I think both guys look great. Oladipo's been fantastic since they went into playoff mode. And, Bogdan's been really steady. Bogdan actually had a great game last time, even though he missed a shitload of shots. He was like 5 for 17. So I think, there's still room for Bogdan to be better. And Bogdan has had games where he shot 60%. So I think he's absolutely capable of having a big day. Thad Young, I think, is not the best play because he was completely focused on defense last time out. And he just let everybody else shoot. And it was very noticeable watching him play. Like, it was a deliberate game plan thing where he was conserving his energy for the defensive end because they have to keep LeBron out and they have to keep LeBron off the boards. And I think that's where his focus is, whereas, like, Bogdan can only shoot, only score. If he tries to guard LeBron, he might actually get snapped in half. just broken in half in the middle of the court and just beaten down. I think that's what Bogdan would be. If you know a way not to play multiple people from a team, please share this info. In a
3-game slate, you're always going to be playing people from the same team.
I think mathematically you have to play people from the same team because you couldn't do that. There's only 6 teams, and there's 10 roster spots, so
right,
9
whatever. 9 on FanDuel, 8 on DK.
Yeah, there you go. You know what? It's funny that I should know that offhand, and I definitely did not. I would have had to count through and been like point guard, shooting guard. I didn't want to spare you guys that on the stream. Adams, Wiggins, or Melo? Oh, what site? Probably DraftKings.
Probably Melo. If I'm playing the GPP, I don't know. Also, Mike M, thanks for noticing the Mitchell and Ness hat, buddy.
Oh, it's a fine hat. I mean, you always have a cool hat, so I feel like I take your hats for granted.
I have like a lot of hats now.
I have a core group of hats that I wear often backwards. But yeah, no, I'm not like a big hat collector guy because they just get gross and sweaty.
I have become one now that they are very cheap for me.
That's right. Josh does have the hat hookup.
I do.
The hat.
Holla if you hear me.
Holla if you got the hat hookup. That's so many H's. Need help filling out my lineups. Wiggins, Brewer favors, or Crawford, George, Crowder. For me, I would go Crawford, George, Crowder. But I think we've discussed we don't necessarily love Crawford, and Favors is a slam dunk, so that might be a reason to go that way.
Jizz Dragon, I've done 30 videos without a hat on. You've certainly seen me without a hat. And have seen my hairline. Hell, I did it like 2 days ago. It might have even been yesterday.
I don't think I've ever seen you without a hat, Josh. I think you actually might be like a monkey brain like in there. You know when you get those, when they serve those in like a weird exotic country where they like crack the head open, it's just a brain? Oh, now I know. I know it's not the case.
Most of the time, I mean, a lot of the times I was just scrambling in here after work, and I certainly wasn't just putting a hat on.
mean, with a hair like that, you got to take great care of it to keep it in place.
Yeah, so I wear a hat because I'm lazy as shit.
That's how I feel. I've been meaning to get a haircut for approximately 3 weeks now, and I still haven't done it. I just wear a hat or a beanie. I feel like that's enough.
Exactly.
Kind of accomplishes the same goal. Let's see.
LeBron, Love, Hill, Smith, Korver. Starting lineup.
LeBron, Love, Hill, Smith, Korver. So, I mean, Korver will get more than 4 minutes today.
Yes, he will.
Boy, Korver could be sneaky. I like him more than Smith.
Coach Lou said that even if Korver's on a minutes limit from the medical staff, he's not going to follow it. So, great.
Did he really say that?
Per a different website.
Oh, boo. Boo whatever that website is. Man, that's funny. He's really an idiot. Like, Ty Lue was just a bad coach.
I mean, I get it. Like, I'm sure Korver doesn't give a shit. He'd rather win the title. He's like, he'll give it all for the team.
I guess, but I mean, like, we've seen it happen so many times now. I mean, Kawhi's going through it right now. Last year we had it with Isaiah. Like, the idea, Beto is right. Ty Lue on Korver, if he dies, he dies.
That's what I'm laughing at, too.
He's going full Rocky mode on him, but I think you got to worry about yourself, man. Teams will run you into the ground, and Isaiah's career might literally be ruined. And not that Kyle Korver is Isaiah. He wasn't going to get $100 million this summer.
No.
But still, that sucks. What a dick move. Is Cole or Ray the right move for Donovan? Which one, if you had to pick one, which would you pick?
I mean, it's hard to answer that because of their price difference. I need to know what you're doing with the savings if you take Ray. I mean, for me, I would take Ray because I think I could build a better lineup out of it. But I mean, Cole on FanDuel he's high level shit.
And Cole also has one of the better Vegas odds on the day as well, and it's only gotten better as the day's gone on. So
Mariners have the lowest implied total. I mean, obviously that's partly because of Cole. That's sort of the way you get there. But yeah, like it's on FanDuel it's a difference of $1,100. On DK it's a difference of $1,900. Like that's a lot. To be able to go from a hitter that's 3,000 to 4,900, you're making a very distinctly different lineup.
I agree. I think that makes sense. Let's see. There's a good question here that I just lost again. Boy, we're like too popular. Chat's like flying today. Good for you guys. Thanks for participating, guys. Genuinely, really, we truly appreciate you guys coming in here every day, asking questions, preferably not being mean to us, but generally, it's a great chat, and it's nice that you guys are all participating, and we're still able to do MLB and NBA.
Shit, we were at 260 like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, we're
273 at a high.
We're growing. Boy, people are really buying into our shit.
We're growers, not showers, people. We're growers, not showers.
Real fast before we get to like a last couple questions. That guy who tweeted us yesterday was such a dick.
I enjoyed it so much.
There was some guy who tweeted us who was like, I fade you guys 75% of the time. I do the opposite, and it's always right. It's like, that is impossible. That is like,
here's the thing.
That's not possible.
If that's true, shut the fuck up about it and just keep doing that. Why would you want to why would you want to start a problem about something that you're claiming is like an ATM for you? Just take that. Like that. If people are giving out consistently wrong information and you are tracking that, then use that to your advantage and shut up. It's the same thing. You're just getting it in a different way. People like that always blow my mind. That's the best thing in the world. To know someone's just really bad is great. Do the opposite and profit from it. Should be happy we suck then.
Yeah, whenever I've gone on a rant and whenever I yell about somebody, the odds are you should probably play that guy at least a little bit. Like, I'm willing to admit that that's the case. But if you're telling me I'm wrong 75% of the time, that's just inaccurate. And don't send me like your Roto Grinders screenshots of indeterminate dates to prove like, whoa, I'm such a fucking winner. I have those too, you cock.
I just wanted him to send in the Brian Fantana Sex Panther. 70% of the time it works all the time.
What a twat. But yeah, like that's the thing, and I guess that's the thing too for me coming from like a different media background. Like we have trolls too, but like tout trolls are like, oh, I just want to strangle you all.
It's just like,
who cares?
If you think I suck, that's the best thing that you could possibly get.
Yeah, I agree. It's whatever.
That's better than me being good, because then people aren't on the same thing as you.
No, that's true. I mean, look, guys, like. We're not being sensitive. I just think, and trust me more than anyone, if you Google my name, I've had the most mean things said about me over the years by actual media outlets. But, like, it's just annoying when it's like, I just don't want to hear people's shit. Like, I don't want to hear negativity, like, in general. But, like, people who go out of their way to be negative and to try to be smart at the same time. And it's just like, it's, you know, I like people who are nice. That's why I like our chat.
I love it. I love killing them with kindness.
I might have sent one mean tweet and then deleted it afterwards, so I hope he saw it, but like I don't want it to exist on the internet forever. That's what I do sometimes. I like to hurt them real deep and then just delete it, so it's like, oh, if they see it, great. If they don't, well, cool. That's off me. That hate's out of my heart. Capella or Love on DK? Which would you? Wait, Grace, quit your bitching. Capella or Love on DK? What would you do if you were making that choice?
Give me, I don't know, man. That's they're essentially tied for me. Give me Capella because I think there might be too much of a LeBron show tonight. Now that said, I still love Love, but I think that Capella can get into some really crazy good stuff tonight. If I had to choose between the two.
I like Capella. It's tough. So the thing I like about Love is you can play Love with LeBron. They tend to correlate well with each other. When LeBron's doing well, he's kind of creating space that Love can capitalize on, bury some corner threes. At the same time, LeBron takes some boards away, but that's fine because LeBron creates more offensive room. That said, Capella is kind of in a unique spot where they need him to play well. They need him to keep Towns off the boards. He also gets defensive usage because Towns is going to get more shots. So I would say probably Capella, but I think they both are in really good spots tonight. I like both guys at a pretty high level. What about Brewer on DK? How do you feel about a guy like Corey Brewer in the playoffs getting like 35 minutes of run or whatever? Doesn't do a lot, doesn't get a lot of shots. I think he got 3 shots last game, but he can get a lot of peripheral stats, or at least enough peripheral stats to be valuable rather. Would you play a guy like that, or would you like maybe a small dose? I feel like it's not somebody you can trust.
Let's see what I have him in on DK. He's usually not my favorite play, and for multiple reasons, but son of a bitch. Stupid fantasy cruncher. I actually have a lot of Brewer on DK if I were playing him. I can't tell you how many because there's a glitch in Fantasy Cruncher, and this is telling me that Jimmy Butler's in 117% of lineups, so I guess I could just run it again. I don't mind Brewer. He helps make things work.
He's at a good price. He can do some stuff. The issue is like there's a decent chance he could end up with like 4x, but I think there is upside there. I wouldn't have a ton of him. I wouldn't have like 80% Brewers, even 50% Brewer.
No, you need him to have a really nice night defensively. So you're looking for a weird amount of steals. That doesn't strike me as the type of thing that's going to come from Utah. I actually don't know what their turnover rate is, so let me check that out. If they don't have a very high turnover rate, I don't like Brewer as much.
Drew, no Gerald Green. Gerald Green didn't get very minutes last time out. They're concentrating more on Gordon, Harden, Paul. I could see playing Gordon. Obviously, you could see playing Harden. I actually like Paul a little bit because I think Chris Paul is going to hear all the haters who are like, "You almost blew the game. You're still the same choke job, Chris Paul." And he's got a pretty good price for what he can do in a game. So I like Chris Paul a fair amount, but not Gerald Green. Definitely not Gerald Green.
So Jazz are 25th in turnover rate. So that actually makes me think that Corey Brewer is like a decent sort of low-tier play as a guy that picks up a lot of steals and against a team that tends to turn the ball over a little bit. That might play into his sort of bag of tricks. And he's had games with 4 and 5 recently, so take that shot at 4,200.
I think that makes sense. I do like Anthony and obviously Paul George a little bit more. I mean, substantially more, just because they seem like they're really focusing on getting those guys the shots, whereas Brewer is going to be trying to defend various people, trying to defend Mitchell. And I think that's sort of his role on the team. But that said, he's on the floor for so much of the game. I could absolutely see why you'd want to have some of him if you're playing, a few lineups.
Yeah.
Let's see. Josh usually on point. Oh, this is actually a nice compliment. But I guess we only have 1 minute, so probably don't need to do that. Who's a better punt play, Korver, JR? Too late now, but I would say Korver. I think Korver, now that we know he's starting, he's just a better shooter when he gets the minutes. I don't know. I think Korver seems – there's a reason they're moving him into the starting lineup, so that's always a thing to keep an eye on.
I'll take JR.
Okay, that's fair. He played okay last time out, so it's fine. Galactic Pokemon asks, any catcher under 3K that you like on DK?
Avila, I believe, is under 3K. I don't generally know their salaries off the top of my head, but yes, Avila for me is far and away. No, not even far and away. I'm in for Kurt Suzuki a little bit.
Ooh, I like Kurt Suzuki. I played him when he was starting before.
Avila would be the guy. Diamondbacks with the highest implied total. I would go that direction for someone under 3,000.
Yeah. All right. And also the first, at least in the DraftKings Big Jam, the first lineups are coming through. So we know the Indiana-Cleveland. We got Oladipo at 21%. Bojan Bogdanovic at 34%. We got Miles Turner at 18%. I need to find a LeBron one. Oh, LeBron at 43%. A lot of people buying the LeBron narrative. So that's interesting. Kevin Love, 34%. Larry Nance, who is a slam dunk on FanDuel, but not on DraftKings for us. He is at 17%. And Lance Stevenson, 10%. A lot of people buying Lance, getting some run in 20 minutes. Including me, apparently.
Data. You were looking at DK exposures?
Yeah, I was.
I'll check a look at FanDuel. LeBron at 50, Korver 10, George Hill 18, JR 30, Miles Turner 43, Oladipo 37, Lance 10, Love 28. That's a lot of JR, man. Holy shit.
I don't see JR as much with Korver starting personally, but yeah, that's me.
I'm probably not going to be able to get that updated as fast as I would like.
I think Drew is right that Bojan might take everyone's money tonight, but I like Bojan. He shot it so much last time, and he got some steals. Bojan can fill it up sometimes, and that's what I'm banking on, especially given that he's got the best DVP matchup on the board. The Cavs have been atrocious versus his position all year. And Thad Young isn't taking that usage at the wing, so it's all him. Yeah, I don't know. I like Bojan. I think that's a safe 33% of people tonight. I hope, because that's me. I got 100% Bojan. Do we think Mitchell will play tonight? I would assume so. He went through shoot around, so there's no reason to think he wouldn't play. But he is a game time decision technically. Anything else? Who would trust George Hill? Josh would have trusted George Hill.
Yeah, he came up early and often for me.
Yeah, I don't like George Hill that much on that Cavs team. I was okay with him on Sacramento. The Cavs, he's just kind of he's bullshit on that team.
No Bregman tonight, everybody.
Ooh. Hopefully nobody played him.
I have him in 20% of my lineups, 13% of my lineups, so.
Oh, is Bregman the new Quarterman? Let's find out.
You can still swap him out.
Oh, well, boo that. All right, guys. Well, nothing else pressing to hit. I guess we have 1 more minute. Do we have 1 more minute for MLB Lock? I think so, right?
We've got 2 more minutes for MLB Lock.
Ooh, woo, even better. 2 more minutes.
Even better. I got to swap Bregman out.
While Josh swaps out Bregman, anybody? No, don't buy John Call's lineup. No lineup selling, please. We don't support that here. It's a stupid thing to do. We've discussed it on this chat. Don't buy lineups ever because you're buying a lineup that somebody else has. So you're inherently limiting your upside already. And that's dumb. Surprised not seeing much Zimmerman. Cheap outfield. Oh, Josh, cheap outfielder on DK?
I'll let you know in a second after I get Bregman out.
All right, you know what? I'll pull one up out of our MLB rankings. Let's see, who's our best value? We got 1 minute. Load! No, don't open that.
Cheap
no.
outfielder on DK.
Yep.
Give me McCutcheon. No, I'm just kidding. Cheap.
And there's Daniel Descal cut off something on Arizona, who's 2,500 and is an A value on our rankings.
As an outfielder?
Oh, actually, no, never mind. You right.
I know. Michael Taylor?
We need to get positions on these rankings on the site.
Oh, Bill Butlicker. I wanted to bring that up earlier. Rest in peace, Bruno Sammartino. Yeah, maybe Michael Taylor.
Okay.
Inciarte, I'd be okay with. Depends how much cheaper you need to go from there. Austin Jackson.
There you go. There's some cheap choices for you. Hopefully those help. Let's see. Is that accurate, Bill Butlicker? Donovan's officially playing? I mean, that's not surprising. I can't see Mitchell missing the game at this point. Okay, John Cole is not selling lineups. I apologize, John Cole. Sarcasm does not translate well into chats, especially given how many people we know who are selling lineups on YouTube and trying to capitalize on dumb people buying dumb things.
Yeah.
Holy moly, awesome 150 lanes on Pick'em. Come on, you guys. What is it? Are those words? Is that English?
Based on that name, probably not.
I like holy moly awesome, though. Like, if you're going to speak gibberish English, that is a way to go about it.
Definitely. Do we do analysis on golf? We have premium content for golf. I don't generally touch it yet. Only so much time in the day.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good stuff about golf. I would like to be better at it. But it's hard, like, for me, like, even baseball, like, my brain, I'm still dedicating enough time to, like, kind of research the things I need for this. But actually investing in making lineups and stuff, like, I'm still in NBA mode. Like a lot of these people, I guess.
MMA is going to be the next frontier that I start talking about. So get ready for that.
How does that work? Like, is there data for that?
Yeah.
Oh, like CompuBox stats?
Sort of. Fight metric.
Interesting. Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. All right, guys. Oh, that's right. That is a Friday reference. You know, honestly, like, reading something in text, I don't know how that translates to a movie reference that well if I don't know it offhand.
Wait,
so
what's the Friday reference?
The Holy Moly.
Oh, Friday After Next isn't really a movie. As far as I'm concerned, they all stopped at Friday.
Friday is the classic. That's true. If you're going to quote a Friday movie, I would go with that.
Well, Grandma will give me that chain.
Let's just quote Friday. Actually, that might not be a good thing to do in 2018. I think we'd get in some trouble. All right. Do you guys think you'll... All right. Yeah, there's nothing else great coming in the questions. So, yeah, make sure to go. Is the Playline contest still open? I think that must be done now, right? Yeah. It's probably done. But hopefully you guys sign up for the Playline contest. Keep an eye out. We're going to do more stuff with Playline. It truly is an easy way to help build your bankroll. It's a newer site, so people on there are playing with a lot of overlay. It's a good chance to kind of get in there, get while the getting's good. Like everybody used to do in the glory days of DraftKings and Draft Street and Draft Ass and whatever bullshit there was out there in those days. And, yeah, make sure to go to Osmo.com. Check out our premium offerings. Sign up. We're offering a deal for a year where it's much cheaper per month than it would be if you're going months a month. We're trying real hard to provide values every single day. The rankings are actually getting better. Like they're working their hard to get rankings out in a very efficient fashion, actually faster than a lot of other sites in the space, and updating them pretty heavily throughout the day as well. Both rankings and ownership projections are premium features on Osmo.com and can really help you build lineups to get away from the chalky stuff that can ruin your life. Yeah, and nothing else good in the chat. So Josh and I will be back tomorrow talking more stuff on this YouTube channel. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to come back because we miss you, we love you, and we appreciate having you here every single day. That's all I have, Josh. Anything from you?
No, not really. Bill Butlicker, I've got some friends going to that Atlantic City UFC, so don't fight anybody. I might know them.
Bill Buttlicker would never. Bill Buttlicker is a lover, not a fighter. If he weren't, he would not be a Buttlicker.
I had my bachelor party in Atlantic City.
Oh, really? How was that?
It was great.
Trash-tastic.
It's a fucking real dirty place.
Alfredo, actually, final question. Alfredo Serta, can I go smoke weed now? You sure can. We all can, in fact, Alfredo. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Awesemo.com. Go sign up. Go read stuff. And, yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Later on, people.
Bye-bye.